I am 76 years old. I have buried two friends this year. Good men, strong men, men who worked hard their whole lives and deserved rest. What they didn't get, what neither of them had in years, was a single full night of sleep. I watched them shrink into it. The exhaustion that never lifts, the 2 a.m. ceiling stare, the pills that stopped working, the doctors who shrugged. I know that life. I lived it for over a decade, waking up 3, 4 times a night, shuffling to the bathroom at 1 a.m., lying back down, watching the clock move from 2 to 3 to 4, while my body refused to do the one thing I was asking it to do. My wife used to say I looked gray, not tired, gray, like something was being slowly drained out of me. At 76, you start doing math. You think about how many good years you have left, how many mornings you want to wake up feeling like a person and not like something that got wrung out and hung up to dry. Sleep stops being a comfort and starts being a survival question. I took it seriously. I started paying attention. The answer didn't come from a doctor. It didn't come from a supplement or a sleep study or a podcast. It came from my neighbor, Aaron. Aaron Stoltzfus is 81 years old. He's Amish. His farm sits a quarter-mile down the road from mine, and I have known him for going on 30 years. The man is something you have to see to believe. 81 years old, up before sunrise every morning, moves through his day like a man 20 years younger. Clear eyes, steady hands, no medications that I've ever heard of, and he sleeps completely, solidly, without interruption, every single night. I finally asked him about it the way you ask a man you've known for 30 years, directly, over a fence, in the middle of the afternoon. I said, "Aaron, you're 81 years old and you sleep like a young man. Tell me what you know." He thought about it for a moment. Aaron is not a man who wastes words. Then he said, "I do what my father did. What his father did. You stop the day before you try to end it." I didn't fully understand what he meant. Not yet. But I started watching. Over the following weeks, I paid attention to the rhythm of his household in the evenings, the things I could observe from the outside, and I talked to him more, asked more questions, the way old men do when they finally decide something matters enough to pursue it. And piece by piece, I started to understand. The first thing I noticed was the light. By the time the sun goes below the tree line, there is no bright light coming from Aaron's house. Warm flickers from the windows. Oil lamps. The kind of light that tells your eyes the day is done. I thought about my own house at that hour. Every light blazing, the television going, my phone screen bright as a summer sky. I was telling my body it was noon at 9 p.m. every single night, and then wondering why my body wouldn't sleep. We are old enough, you and I, to remember evenings before all of this, before the screens came. I remember sitting with my father in the living room after supper, the floor lamp on, the room in soft shadow, everyone quieting down. We didn't know the science. We didn't need to. Our eyes knew. Our bodies knew. That soft evening light was a signal as old as the human species. The day is ending. Begin to rest. We've spent the last 30 years jamming that signal with artificial daylight and then wondering why sleep has become so hard. The second thing I noticed about Aaron and his household was what they did with the evening hours. Nobody was sitting still staring at something. His wife was sewing. Aaron himself was usually working on something with his hands, mending a harness, sharpening a tool, doing the small, unhurried physical tasks that farm life generates in endless supply. Hands busy, mind quiet. I'm a retired machinist. I worked with my hands for 40 years, and when I retired, I stopped. I sat down, and I didn't pick anything back up. I thought that was what rest looked like. But there's a difference between rest and vacancy. When your hands are doing nothing and your mind has nothing gentle to hold on to, it goes looking for trouble. It finds the worries, the regrets, the 3 a.m. inventory of everything that's wrong. Giving your hands something simple and physical to do in the evening is like giving a dog a bone before bed. It settles something deep. I picked up wood carving again. Something I hadn't done since my 40s. Nothing serious. Small things, a bird, a handle, a little figure. 40 minutes in the evening with a piece of wood and a blade. I cannot tell you how much that one change alone shifted something in my chest. But the thing Aaron told me about, the specific thing, the thing his father taught him and his father's father taught his father, was something simpler than any of that. He told me on a Tuesday afternoon, leaning on the fence post the way he does. He said his father called it closing the door on the day. Every night, in the last few minutes before bed, Aaron fills a basin with warm water and stands with his feet in it. 3 minutes, no more usually. Just stands there, quietly, lets the warmth do what it does. I probably looked at him the way most people would look at an 81-year-old man telling them to soak their feet. Skeptical, polite, ready to nod and move on. He saw the look. He said, "Daniel, I am 81. I sleep like I'm 30. Try it." So I tried it. Now I want to explain what's actually happening, because I am not a man who does things without understanding them. I looked into it. What happens when you put your feet in warm water is this. The warmth causes the blood vessels in your feet to open up and dilate. Blood moves toward your feet and away from your core. Your core body temperature drops, and a drop in core body temperature is one of the primary biological triggers for sleep. Your brain interprets it as nightfall. The hormones that initiate deep sleep, melatonin, the sleep pressure chemicals that have been building all day, they release. Properly. Fully. The way they're supposed to. Researchers have measured this. There are studies out of the Netherlands, out of universities in the United States, showing that people who trigger this warmth to cooling response fall asleep significantly faster, reach deep, slow-wave sleep more quickly, and wake up during the night far less frequently. The numbers are not small. We're talking about cutting the time it takes to fall back asleep after a nighttime waking by nearly half. Aaron's family wasn't reading sleep research. They were just doing what worked, generation after generation, because when something works for 100 years in a row, you keep doing it. The first night I tried it, I stood at my kitchen sink with a plastic dish basin and warm water and felt slightly foolish, but I slept through to 5 a.m. without waking once. That had not happened in 8 years. I told myself it was a fluke. The second night I slept through again. The third night I woke at 2 a.m., my old familiar enemy. And I remember thinking, here we go. And then I was waking up again, and it was morning. I had fallen back asleep so fast I had no memory of being awake. I am not a man who is easy to convince. Ask my wife. Ask my kids. But I have now been doing this for 14 months, and I can tell you plainly, I sleep. Not perfectly every night, not like I'm 25, but solidly and deeply in a way I had given up believing was still possible for me. The 3 a.m. ceiling is gone. The gray face my wife used to describe is gone. I wake up in the morning and I feel like I've actually been somewhere restful, like something in me was repaired overnight. I'm 76. I know what the years feel like when they're being wasted on bad sleep. I know the cost of it. The foggy thinking, the short temper, the way your body ages faster when it never gets to truly rest. I spent too long paying that cost without realizing there was another option sitting a quarter mile down my road. Aaron told me one more thing when I went back to thank him. He said his wife adds dried chamomile to the warm water, has since she was a young woman. He said it comes through the skin and quiets the nerves. I don't know if the science fully backs that part up. The research on chamomile absorption through skin is not settled. But I'll tell you what I do know. Standing in warm chamomile water in a quiet kitchen with the overhead light off and nothing left to decide for the day, there is nothing I have found in 76 years of living that signals rest to the body more completely than that. You stop the day before you try to end it. That's what Aaron said. That's what his father taught him. Here's what stopping the day looks like. 2 hours before bed, turn off your bright lights. Lamps only, warm and low. Pick something up with your hands. Anything. It doesn't matter what, as long as it's gentle and doesn't demand much from your mind. Knit, carve, fold, sort, whatever is natural to you. Let your hands be busy and your mind be quiet. And then, in the last 3 minutes before you go to bed, warm water in a basin. Sit or stand with your feet in it. Don't look at your phone. Don't watch anything. Just breathe and let the warmth move through you. Then dry your feet. Go to bed. Let go of the day the way the day deserves to be let go of, completely, without argument, without lying there cataloging everything that still needs to be done. You've earned the rest. Your body remembers how to take it. It's just been waiting for you to stop sending it the wrong signals and give it the right ones instead. Aaron is 81 years old. He will be up before the sun tomorrow. He will work his farm, eat his supper, sit with his wife in the lamplight, do something useful with his hands, and then stand quietly for 3 minutes with his feet in warm water. And then he will sleep. So will I.